Hello, I'm Lori Steiner, sitting in for Armin Budish. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, we'll help heal your bent-over back. Then, have a question about your health insurance claim? We have an appealing answer. You want to contribute to your grandchild's higher education, but at what cost? We'll test your college knowledge. Plus, we all want to look our best. We'll consider how cosmetic surgery can boost your beauty. And little-known tips to maximize your spouse's IRA.
It's time to get geoing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. We have an interesting antidote for your aches and pains. So what is this amazing medicine that can work wonders? Merely getting moving. Dr. Noah Abboud is here to prescribe motion for many of your medical maladies. Dr. Abboud is with the Solon Spine and Wellness Center. Welcome back to the show.
Wonderful, thanks.
So movement is actually medicine?
Right. If I had to give just one piece of advice, a good health habit to my patients, I would choose movement. I would say if you could get your body moving, it could solve so many different health problems that we have.
Some examples of the kind of health problems?
We know that it helps create those feel-good hormones when you're moving and exercising. It helps increase your stamina, helps with diabetes, depression, helps with balance. A lot of our elderly patients are having issues with balance, and when you keep moving, it's going to help restore stability on your feet.
Wow, all kinds of things, it sounds like. So, but, you know, if you are already kind of stiff and not being able to move very well,
that's one of the signs that your body needs to move. You know how it is if you have a lazy day on the couch and you get up and you just feel kind of achy? That's when your body really needs to start moving. And that's a sign. It's kind of counterintuitive. You might think, oh, I need to rest more.
Right. You would think that you just have to sit. You'd think it would cause more pain, so I don't want to move. I want to continue to sit here. So well, when you're talking about movement, what kind of movement are you really talking about?
It could be anything, a walk. Walking is probably one of the easiest, least expensive, readily available activities we can do. And I think that's what we need to do. But it could be gardening, it could be racquetball or tennis or golf. Just move and just get in the habit. I think one of the biggest things is just getting off the couch and getting started, because once we start moving, we feel great. But the biggest issue is getting over the hurdle of putting our shoes on. And so that's what I tell our patients. Just give me 10 minutes, and then it will probably turn into 30 minutes if they just get started.
Now, you specialize in back pain, so how does this kind of movement or exercise affect the back?
Because when your spine isn't moving, you're sending signals to your brain of pain, but when you begin moving, it blocks pain patterns to your brain so you feel better. So we have to restore movement. And we have a saying in our office that says, stiff is old and flexible is young. Let's keep you stiff or keep you flexible and young.
I think you meant the flexible, yes.
Absolutely.
But what if you're already hunched over and shuffling and not really able to move very much? Is there anything that you can do to help somebody get to the point where they can move?
And that's where the vicious cycle is. I feel crummy, so I don't want to exercise and I gain weight. So we specialize, our office, in treating patients with disc injuries, whether it's from spinal stenosis or disc herniation or just arthritis in the back. And we have a specialized machine called non-surgical lumbar decompression, and it creates like a vacuum, and it draws blood into the disc, and it helps that disc regrow and regenerate to some degree. And when we can do that, that allows the nerves to flow. You start seeing the patient begin to stand up straighter. Their gait is no longer that shuffling gait. So those are the kind of conditions that we typically treat in our office.
How many treatments do you really need to see a difference?
That's what we want to determine, and what we've decided is to make our office unique. I want to sit knee to knee with our patient, review their MRIs, their x-rays, hear their story. I want to feel their spine, and then I can at least let them know if I can help them. I won't waste their time if I can't, but if I can, we'll sit down and spell out how long it would take to help them.
All right, so it's this kind of a treatment is exercise without actually having to exercise, getting you ready to actually do that real movement outside on your own. So
absolutely.
Sounds really good. Dr. Abboud's advice to get moving really is quite moving. Help your health by putting his pointers into practice. And for more healthful hints, give them a call. The number is next.
Learn more by calling Solon Spine and Wellness Center at 440-941-9331 or log on to www.solonbackpain.com. Next, name it to claim it. But first, to market. Whether we grocery shop with a list or wait to buy on a whim, 2 products are liable to head home with you. Can you name the store staples voted most likely to land in your cart? We'll check out the answer when we return.
My husband and I got into the car and we couldn't do it. We couldn't pick one baby over the other. Coming to Metro changed the entire pregnancy. We actually started to become happy with our situation. We owe a big thank you to Metro. I can't imagine our family without Sam.
When they ring you up at the register, a quick scan will show you most likely have some cereal and some soda being packed into your paper or plastic. Why? These 2 items top every grocer's list as the most commonly sold.
Your health insurance company denies one of your claims. Think that's the end of it? Think again. Trish DeCenzi is here with appealing information about appealing that decision. Trish is Vice President and General Counsel for Medical Mutual of Ohio. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Lori.
This is really good information. So is this ability to appeal something new that came with the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare, or has it been there?
Not really. In most cases, plans had the ability to provide an appeals process, but the Affordable Care Act leveled the playing field a little bit.
Okay, so how did it do that?
Well, Ohio, for example, had an effective appeals process for years. But the Affordable Care Act takes that process and makes it uniform among group health plans and expands it to all types of group health plans.
Okay, so making it a little bit more usable.
Exactly.
So how does an appeal process work?
Well, the appeal process allows you to appeal what's called an adverse benefit determination. And adverse benefit determinations are those types of situations where there is a denial of a service that you've already had, or your doctor is requesting prior approval of a service and that's denied. It can be a situation where care you're already getting is terminated or reduced, for example, if you're already in the hospital. And it can be a situation where, maybe the insurance company pays part of the claim but not all of it. And finally, in those very rare situations where coverage is rescinded, then you can appeal that decision as well.
Okay, so one of these adverse benefit determinations has been made and we don't like it and we want to actually make the appeal. What is the next step that has to be taken?
Well, the determination, the adverse benefit determination has to be in writing. So you'll receive, for example, if you already had the service, you'll receive an explanation of benefits form, or you'll receive a letter from the insurance company. So the first thing you want to do is maybe call the customer service department. They'll help you get a better understanding of why the claim was denied, and you might even be able to resolve it at that level. Okay.
Beyond that,
and
how do you know where to go for help?
Well, if you still don't agree, you need to know what your appeal rights are, and you need to know where to find them. So you can find out from the customer service department. You can look in your benefit book. That's required to contain a detailed listing of your appeals process. And you can look at that written notice you received, that explanation of benefits, the letter, that needs to contain the requirement. And finally, many insurance companies' websites will have the process.
They're really trying to get you the information, it sounds like.
Absolutely.
Are there time limits in which you can make your appeal?
There are. You have 180 days from the time you receive the adverse benefits determination to file an appeal. And once you file the appeal, in most cases, you're going to get a decision in 30 days. But sometimes, if you haven't had the service yet, and it's are in urgent need of the service, you can file what's called an expedited appeal or an urgent appeal, and that decision has to be made by the insurance company in 72 hours.
Okay, so that can help if you've got something really important going on.
Absolutely.
But what if now this appeal is also turned down? Are there steps you can take, or are you just done?
No, absolutely. There are steps you can take. You want to get together as much information as you can. And you can file it, in many cases, a second level of appeal. You want to get your doctor's help. If your situation involves, for example, a decision that the claim was not medically necessary, or if the situation is an experimental claim, you're going to need medical records, and you might even be able to get your doctor to file the appeal for you.
Okay.
And they can help out.
That's good. Getting the doctors on your side can really help.
Absolutely. And then finally, you have a third level of appeal that's an external review, and that's really important. The external review is conducted by an organization that has a contract with the insurance company or with the actual State Department of Insurance.
Like a third-party opinion.
Completely independent from the insurance company, and that's the final level.
All right. Thank you for this great information. If you need to appeal a decision by your health insurance company, follow Trish's advice in order to state your claim correctly. Then you may be able to reclaim benefits that were originally denied. My thanks to Trish for clearing up the claims appeal process for us today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Find out more about Medical Mutual of Ohio by visiting their website, www.medmutual.com/2014 options, or call 1-866-488-3266. Next, getting schooled with tuition tips. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. If herding is in your dog's heritage, take the opportunity to understand their actions at a herding behavioral seminar at the Spicy Lamb Farm in Peninsula on Saturday, May 10th from 1 to 3 p.m. To round up details, call 330-657-2012 or follow along at www.thespicylamb.com.
Notebooks ready, pencils sharpened, then class can come to order. Today, Jim Lineweaver is going to school us in the many lessons involved in finding the right college for your grandson or daughter. Jim is a certified financial planner with the Lineweaver Financial Group. Welcome again to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I am sure things have changed over the years since grandparents were helping their children, and even since those children are helping their children.
Right.
And things are always changing. So what should we be looking for as it's time to begin looking at colleges and universities?
Well, you know, we've always done the financial planning side of it and getting the money ready. And now I have a daughter who's a sophomore in high school.
Suddenly.
And we're going through all this, so it's a whole other dynamic.
Oh,
because
yeah.
things have really changed even from when I went to college, because it's not just about the ACT and the SAT score anymore. Those are important, but we actually visited one school recently. They don't even want to see your grades. They want to look at your portfolio, how much kind of work experience do you have, what kind of things did you juggle sports, what kind of community service do you do, what kind of essay did you write, and you're going to sit down with a personal interview with that school. So things have really changed over the years.
So now colleges are looking for something a little bit different. What should the grandchild be looking for?
Well, this is where they can get selective too. It's not always the university picking the individual. It's the individual also picking the right, university or school. So you want to look at their aptitude, look at their career objectives. Do they want to be in a rural setting or an urban setting? Do they want to go to something like Ohio State or Cleveland State? And they also, a lot of schools have different specialties. So you might look at Ohio, University for journalism. You could look at the University of Cincinnati for, say, engineering, or Miami for business schools and stuff. So a lot of the schools have got really specialty areas, and that can try to help line the student up with the right school as well.
So they can do what they want. So, but no matter where they decide and whatever the program is, it's going to take some money. What are the different ways grandparents or even parents can help out?
Well, this is really where it can be creative, okay? Because traditionally you can only give $14,000 per person per child per year. But unfortunately, if you give that rate to the child and they're trying to get some financial aid, you could kick them out of getting financial aid. So you could look at paying the school directly. You don't have to give the gift either to your child or your grandchild. That's not considered a gift. You can also do a loan to the child if you really wanted to. That's not on the FAFSA forms as well. So in other words,
the FAFSA forms are those financial aid papers, right?
That you fill out, you scramble every year at the beginning of the year, exactly, and then that's going to tell you what type of aid you're getting from the school. So there's a lot of different things you can do, but the big thing is if you're going to help the kids try to fund their education, don't ruin the financial aid picture, because you're going to throw money away. And one that's also an estate planning tool and also an education planning tool is that grandparents can actually actually start a 529 plan for their grandkids. And you know what? If they ever needed to pull that money back, they could.
It's available to them.
It is. So there's a lot of different flexibility in case that child doesn't go to college or higher education.
Okay. So are there any ways that these might hurt the parents in taxes or anything else?
Well, if you're going to take money out of an IRA, what it ends up having, you're going to have to pay the tax before you gift that money out. Otherwise, if it's non-IRA money, just stay within those gifting rules, because if you don't, what's going to happen is the taxes could be as high as 35% if you go over some of these rules.
Okay.
So you really got to stay within the guidelines, understand how all this fits together.
A lot of information. We've hit a few of the high spots, but there's a lot more involved in it. And you've got a way for people to learn, right?
We do. We have an education program, and this is going to appeal to not only the grandparents, but their kids who are worried about their kids for education.
Yes.
So we're actually going to do it 2 dates. We're going to do it on Tuesday, May 13th at 6:30 p.m., and also Thursday, May 15th at 1 o'clock, and it's a free education program for your viewers.
Excellent. I think they need to come and listen. With so many factors to consider, so many schools to visit, and so much paperwork to complete, Jim's college knowledge will help make your search a grade above the others. For more help, attend his seminar or give him a call. The number's next.
For more information, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or click to www.lineweaver.net. Next, looking younger with a little help. It's time to get up and go, an exercise minute on golden opportunities.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and we're here today to show you how to do a donkey kick. This is an excellent exercise. It's not only going to work and strengthen that lower back area, but also it's going to build the glutes. You ready?
I need this.
Let's do it. All right. We're going to start on all fours. Here in the studio, we have our exercise mats. You at home, go ahead and grab a spot on the floor. We want our hands to be shoulder width apart. Our knees should be about the same. What we're looking for here is we're going to bring our knees straight in, and then we're going to try to keep a 90-degree bend as we bring it straight up and out. Perfect, okay? So we're going to bring it in and then up and out. We want 12 to 15 repetitions. Let's go ahead. We can switch and try the other side. In and out. All right. How you feeling, Lori?
Really good.
Looks good. All right. Lori's doing a slightly easier version of this.
I need a slightly easier version of
There you
this.
go. Those beginners at home, this is a way that you can build that muscle and still strengthen the same area, okay? 12 to 15, 2 to 3 times a week. And now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, please send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 23240 Chagrin Boulevard, Suite 450, Beechwood, Ohio, 44122.
Remember that scene in the movie The Graduate where a businessman advises Dustin Hoffman on a popular career choice at that time with just one word? The word is plastics. That word could apply today with an entirely different meaning, namely the popularity of plastic surgery. Baby boomers have created another boom, this one in plastic surgery procedures. Dr. Bram Kaufman is here to talk about the most often asked for options. Dr. Kaufman is a plastic surgeon with Metro Health. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So we think of cosmetic surgery as something to make you, look better or enhance it or something, but it's not only just that, right?
No, in fact, lots of the procedures and treatments that we prescribe address functional as well as aesthetic concerns.
Okay.
So, for instance, in eyelid surgery, of course, doing a blepharoplasty or eyelid surgery will make you look better, but it also can take the weight off of your eyelids. It can help you see better. The same scenario, same kind of thing happens with, for instance, rhinoplasty or a nose job. If you've had a fractured nose and the nose doesn't look so good, you can fix it. It looks better, but it also may help you breathe better.
So when it's medical behind it, does that help insurance cover it?
Often, insurance will cover certain procedures or treatments that do result in a functional deficit. For instance, loss of ability to see in the upper fields in your eye frame.
Or breathe.
Or breathe through your nose, exactly.
I know there's lots of areas of different kinds of plastic surgery, but we're going to stick to the face. And as I understand it, the eyes have it. It's a real popular area, right?
Yes, the eyes and the upper third of the face succumbs to our aging process in a dastardly way, unfortunately. So a lot of the tissue in the upper part of the face, in the eyes, will droop as we age, And not only does the brow droop, where you can see the eyebrow is down, but the eyelid skin itself can droop, and that creates a visual field deficit. You can't see through that skin.
Right.
There's also muscles in the eyelid, and that's where some of the functional aspect of our eyelid surgery comes into play. The muscles elevate the eyelid, and when they stretch out as we age, then you have droopy eyelids. This is the photo you see on the screen now is a younger person where we just took care of the eyelid skin, and the photograph we saw just a minute ago demonstrates a more severe case where some of the muscles were addressed as well.
Okay, yeah, it can make a big difference on your eyes.
And it makes people feel better, and they feel younger, and they just can see a lot better.
Yeah. And our face also changes as we age. We just have to look in the mirror, see new wrinkles and this and that. But you say also that there's developmental changes in the face. What does that mean?
That's right, Laura. There's degenerative changes, and it affects all the tissues of the face. Obviously, we see our skin has wrinkles in it, but the skin gets a little thinner as we age. Soft tissue and the fatty tissue underneath the face sometimes atrophies or becomes less in volume, and you get that hollowed out, sallow look. Even the bones of the face change as we age.
Okay, so is there something you can do to help out those bones?
Well, in fact, one of the most common requested procedures is an office procedure, and that's using dermal fillers, and there are many commercial products available for that. The same concept is used for all of them. It takes up some of the volume that has been lost. And here in this photograph, you see an example of using a filler to fill in those nasolabial folds, or the folds that come from the nose to the mouth.
The creases that make you look like a bunny or something that come right here along the sides of your mouth.
That's right. And for instance, in this particular case, these photographs demonstrate lip enhancement. Often as we age, you'll see that our lips get a little thinner than we would like to see, and this can be an excellent solution for it. But
it doesn't have to be those big puffy lips like sometimes people made mistakes and got them.
No, the beauty of this is you can look at, it's in the office, you're awake. We do use some local anesthetic, but you can see the results right away, and you can say, stop. That's perfect, or you can say, keep going, I need a little more.
Okay. So you know kind of what you're getting into then. Are most of these procedures in the office?
The surgical procedures are most often in the operating room. The filler procedures and those sorts of things are office procedures. They're very simple.
So you can really, in a day, just kind of really...
Short downtime, easy recovery.
All right. So if you're of a certain age, you may look in the mirror and not like everything you see. But thanks to plastic surgery options, like the ones Dr. Kaufman told us about today, you may be able to fix a few of your flaws with minimal downtime or discomfort. To find out more, use the information that's coming up next. My thanks to Dr. Kaufman for joining us today.
To learn more, call Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or visit www.metrohealth.org. Next, get more from your spouse's IRA.
Hilltop Village Apartments is retirement living at its best. Residents enjoy a wide variety of activities and living services with all large first-floor apartments, private screened-in patios with beautiful park views, daily dining room meals, free laundry facilities, 24-hour staff, and so much more. Enjoy safe, comfortable independence at a very affordable price. Call today for a tour and learn how you can get your first month's rent free. Hilltop Village Apartments, retirement living at its best.
If your spouse dies and leaves you an IRA, what should you do? If you're like most people, you don't understand your options, and a mistake can cost you and your heirs a lot of money. Here with his IRA advice is my law partner, Mike Solomon.
Hi, Lori.
Well, welcome to the show. So, if I have a spouse who passes away with an IRA and I'm going to inherit it, what do I do?
Well, I wish there was an easy answer. There are a lot of different factors. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're under 59 and a half and your late husband was older, and then he passes away. If you need the money now, then it's better to leave it in the late spouse's IRA because you can pull the money out without any penalties. But unfortunately, what happens a lot of times is as soon as someone passes away, they take the money and roll it over back into her own IRA, the surviving spouse's IRA. That's okay. There's no tax consequence to that. But then if the surviving spouse is under 59.5 and needs money, pulls it out of that IRA, there's going to be a tax penalty of 10%.
Penalties there,
right?
yeah. Now, but what if I leave it in my late spouse's name, so I'm just taking it without that penalty? Does that mean I have to take out bigger and bigger pieces of it, and it might, be gone too soon?
Well, it would if you kept it in there, but you could at any time later on take whatever left in the late spouse's IRA and transfer it over to your IRA.
You roll it over later, huh?
That's right.
Oh, okay. So what if the surviving spouse is under 70.5 and doesn't need the money?
Well, that's probably a little bit of the best scenario, because what you can do is take the money from the late spouse's IRA, roll it over, transfer it to your own IRA, and you can let it sit there until you're 70.5. So you get all that tax-free growth, and then you start taking it out over your life expectancy, which will stretch it out over a long period of years.
Okay. So, but what if your late spouse had already started taking minimum distributions?
Well, again, it all depends on the facts and circumstances. Let's say the late spouse is younger than you. Okay, so that if you took the late spouse's IRA and rolled it over to yours, you'd pay it out at a faster rate because you're older, depending on your age. So this way, if you take it out from your late spouse and leave it in their IRA, it may be a slower rate paying out.
Man, oh man, wow. What to do with a late spouse's IRA is a lot more complicated than most people think. And choosing the wrong strategy can be a costly mistake. Follow Mike's advice and give him a call if you have any questions.
Call Budish, Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. We also offer free CEUs and CCMs for nurses, social workers, and case managers. Or log on to www.bssplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, there's no such thing as a stroke being good luck, but we do have good news about the latest stroke rehab and research. Then, what's the best kind of advertising? Word of mouth, of course. We'll hear about how one retirement community is letting residents have their say about where they stay. And we'll share stories of smiles restored. But until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
Would you like to join our kitchen conversation? All you have to do is call toll-free 1-877-765-1543 and leave us your question, name, and phone number. Or log on to www.golden.tv for all the latest information and show updates.